This little carrot self-driving car is a bit silly. If no car lets it go, it just keeps waiting. It even signaled a left turn, but didn't move forward. Two self-driving taxis met on the street and couldn't figure out how to proceed. The car doors wouldn't open, so the passengers had to wait for help. The traffic police were also helpless with the traffic jam caused by this malfunction. In short, if these self-driving cars don't move, no one can. And on July 12th, this awkward situation happened again. At an intersection, two self-driving ride-hailing cars met unexpectedly, and neither gave way. They blocked the street, causing a traffic jam. Another carrot self-driving taxi stopped at an intersection because it detected an obstacle ahead. The driver of the car behind got out to check and found that it was a self-driving car. Unable to control it, they had to wait behind. During the morning rush hour, a carrot self-driving taxi crashed because there were too many cars. A traffic policeman anxiously directed it to move, but the self-driving car didn't understand and stayed still, frustrating the onlookers. For just 4.99 renminbi, or 70 cents US, for a 7.1-kilometer ride, would you take this super cheap but unstable and risky self-driving taxi? Chinese media claimed that these self-driving taxis provide a comfortable private space with no disturbances, a smooth and safe ride, and a super cheap price. However, they also have numerous problems, embarrassing the Chinese government. Currently, Baidu Apollo operates these self-driving taxis in cities like Wuhan, Guangzhou, and Beijing. This new carrot ride-hailing platform has completed 3 million rides in just 1 month, quickly becoming a hot topic. This number is astonishing. Even the well-established ride-hailing giant Didi didn't grow this fast when it started. What does 3 million rides mean? Let's break it down. With 30 days in a month, that averages 100,000 rides per day. Further dividing it, if they operate 18 hours a day, that's 5,555 rides per hour. In 2012, Didi took 3 whole years to reach 100 million rides. At its current pace, Carrot might surpass Didi's 3-year sales volume in just a year. This incredible speed has naturally sparked a lot of online discussion. Many people have high hopes for Carrot Robotaxi, seeing it as proof that the future is already here. But reality isn't as rosy as the data and hype suggest. Since Carrot Robotaxi began its first trial operation, it has sparked significant controversy. The first group to oppose it were taxi drivers and ride-hailing drivers.
This is a Carrot robot taxi in Wuhan. Because they have self-driving cars, they no longer need to hire us, violating labor contracts and ignoring labor contract laws. We, the employees, are protesting outside the Carrot Robot Taxi company. Carrot Robot Taxi not only mistreats its employees, but also operates with many violations. We hope people pay attention to this, and we'll take legal measures to protect our rights.
Currently, Carrot Robotaxi has deployed over 400 self-driving taxis in Wuhan, operating 24/7. Without drivers, labor costs are significantly reduced. The super low prices attract users. Where a 10-kilometer taxi ride in China used to cost 18 to 30 renminbi, but now, with Carrot Robotaxi, it's only 4 to 16 renminbi, saving a lot on commuting costs in the long run. Naturally, users will choose the more affordable option. This affordable choice spells disaster for the taxi industry. Since Didi emerged in 2012, taxi drivers have already felt the market squeeze. Now, robots are entering the market, pushing prices so low that taxi drivers can't find any work. Taxi driver Mr. Li told the media that he now starts work at 5:30 a.m. and finishes at 5:30 p.m. During these hours, his earnings have dropped from over 400 renminbi to 300 or even 200 renminbi, barely enough to make a living. Desperate, the drivers have turned to the government for help, hoping for a lifeline. They've collectively protested the entry of robot cars into the market, marking the start of a man-versus-machine battle. The drivers even wrote a joint plea titled, "Cruising taxis are on the verge of death." Some suggest allowing robo-taxis to operate only after 10 p.m., leaving daytime hours for taxi drivers to earn money. However, the Wuhan government has yet to respond or take action. Consequently, there are ongoing reports of Wuhan taxi drivers collectively reporting Carrot Robotaxi or going on strike. Regarding the controversy over low pricing, Wuhan's regulatory authority stated, "Carrot Robotaxi's prices do not constitute malicious competition. They are market-regulated prices, and government departments cannot interfere." As a result, the number of taxi drivers returning their vehicles is increasing. Mr. Xia, a taxi driver, said that 10% to 15% of drivers in his company have applied to return their cars, and this number will only grow. He mentioned that the process of returning a car requires a 3-month notice, taking at least 90 days to complete, so more drivers will follow. Besides taxi drivers, ride-hailing drivers are also significant victims of market squeeze. Already struggling with shrinking markets and exploitation by the Didi platform, earning money has become even harder. Previously, those who lost their jobs at age 35 could resort to the so-called triathlon: food delivery, courier services, and driving. But with the continued deterioration of the Chinese economy, these low-barrier jobs have become saturated, and incomes have gradually decreased. According to monthly reports from the Guangzhou Transportation Bureau, from September 2023 to May 2024, the number of registered ride-hailing cars in Guangzhou increased from 97,400 to 121,200, while the number of registered drivers grew from 129,100 to 138,600. Meanwhile, the average daily orders for ride-hailing cars dropped from 14.2 to 12.2, and daily revenue decreased from 343 renminbi to 311 renminbi. This means some ride-hailing drivers, even if they work the entire month without rest, earn less than 10,000 renminbi a month before deducting vehicle costs. Many ride-hailing drivers complain it's getting harder and harder to make a living in this business. To earn over 10,000 renminbi a month, you have to drive around the city non-stop. It's exhausting. Now, with AI and robo-taxis, there's no need to hustle because no matter how hard you work, you can't make money. The market has been taken over by AI. A Didi driver and blogger wrote that his ride-hailing orders has been disastrous this month due to the impact of Carrot Robotaxi. He averages less than 10 orders a day. He used to be online for 10 hours a day, but now he has to be online for 12 or even 15 hours to meet platform quotas, leaving him exhausted. He plans to quit Didi this month and switch to day labor at construction sites or logistics hubs, which at least provide food and accommodation. Some netizens support the entry of Carrot Robotaxi into Wuhan because they believe self-driving taxis, as artificial intelligence, will strictly follow traffic rules and solve the city's chaotic traffic problems. One netizen cited issues like many vehicles not using turn signals, driving against traffic, honking indiscriminately, not yielding to pedestrians on crosswalks, switching lanes at will, and severe lane cutting. There's a saying in Wuhan, if you don't curse while driving for 10 minutes, someone else is cursing at you. Another netizen pointed out that self-driving taxis solve some of the hassles of riding with a driver. Many taxi drivers have unfriendly attitudes, constantly spewing garbage talk, making passengers feel uncomfortable, taking detours, not using the meter, forcing ride-sharing, speeding, and competing aggressively with buses. The most frustrating thing for passengers is drivers refusing rides for various reasons, such as distance, meal breaks, refueling, or shift changes. These issues are almost non-existent with Carrot Robotaxis. However, more netizens are worried about the safety of these new smart taxis. On July 8th, a Carrot Robotaxi collided with a woman riding an electric bike on a Wuhan street. In the video, we see the woman and her bike lying in front of the self-driving taxi. According to a Baidu spokesperson, the self-driving taxi had a minor collision with a person running a red light when the traffic light turned green. The woman involved was taken to the hospital for a checkup, accompanied by staff, and is currently under observation and resting with no apparent injuries. This news has caused concern among netizens and Carrot users. Although the woman was hit because she ran a red light, a human driver could have braked in time and handled the complex situation on the road, potentially avoiding the accident. Moreover, after such collisions, a driver is needed to handle the accident scene and any remaining issues. AI cannot perform these tasks, requiring passengers to wait for staff to arrive and wasting their time. According to EastMoney.com, Carrot Robotaxi's mini-program specifies that to ensure passenger safety, the following people are prohibited from riding: pregnant women, infants held in arms, elderly over 70, and those with cardiovascular diseases and other health issues. This indicates that Carrot Robotaxis still pose certain risks. Aside from safety concerns, the unreliable service quality of self-driving taxis is another issue. In Wuhan, local drivers are known for their aggressive yet civilized driving style. Carrot robo-taxis are referred to by locals as silly carrots because they drive slowly, sometimes get stuck at the roadside, frequently wobble, and don't avoid pedestrians. Due to these frequent incidents, there have been over 300 comments about carrot robo-taxi on Wuhan City message board, with many involving complaints. Since January 2024, there have been 48 comments about carrot robo-taxi, more than 30 of which are complaints, accounting for over 70%. The complaints mainly include stopping without reason, causing traffic jams and safety hazards, illegal parking, and driving too slowly during rush hours. Several residents reported issues such as the car stopping at green lights, rushing into intersections during red lights, and stalling while turning. For example, a comment on March 14th said, "Carrot robotaxi drives slowly and suddenly stops in the middle of the road, causing the following cars to brake abruptly." On April 12th, a resident commented, "Near the Guangzhou Biopark Phase 2, a carrot robotaxi illegally parked near the ramp from the main road to the side road, severely blocking traffic." On May 8th, another comment said, "During morning rush hours, carrot robotaxi causes traffic jams by stopping in the middle of the road without reason, making a 5-minute drive take more than 20 minutes. In response, a journalist contacted Carrot Robotaxi's autonomous driving vehicle hotline to inquire about these issues. The staff said if the vehicle detects surrounding conditions affecting its safety, it might stop. Once it senses the area is safe again, it will resume driving. If residents encounter such problems, they can contact our customer service and provide the vehicle's information, and we will notify the relevant staff to assist immediately." An official from the Wuhan Economic and Technological Development Zone Administrative Committee's office stated that they are currently promoting self-driving vehicles. However, there are many technical issues that are still being gradually improved during the testing phase. It seems they're determined to develop self-driving cars regardless of public opposition. This disregard of public opinion and the continuous rising unemployment rate, coupled with the government's insistence on developing AI, has greatly disappointed Chinese citizens. A blogger stated that if Carrot Robotaxi continues to develop, everyone in society will eventually become unemployed.
A war is about to break out. The collective protest by Wuhan taxi drivers against Carrot Run marks the official start of a war between ordinary people and capitalists. If we do not participate in this war, there is a high chance we will be among the unemployed. If artificial intelligence is monopolized by capital, life for ordinary people will become even harder. The unchecked development of e-commerce has already nearly distorted the entire social economy. If AI is not controlled and is allowed to expand arbitrarily under capitalist monopoly, all grassroots workers will inevitably join the ranks of the unemployed. There is a win-win solution: decentralized AI technology with capital only responsible for technology development and charging for technical services, without participating in operations. Operational rights should be given to grassroots workers, giving them a chance to make a living when times are tough. AI should benefit humanity, not be monopolized by capital to take away jobs from the grassroots.
The government's persistence is because the development of Carrot Robotaxi is fundamentally a political achievement that the Chinese government wants to establish. In this video, a well-known Chinese political analyst, Zai Shanying, mentioned, "Carrot robotaxis won't be cancelled out due to public opinion because they represent a political achievement the Chinese government wants to showcase. There are trial operations of self-driving vehicles in Hangzhou and Shanghai as well. As far as I know, Carrot Robotaxi receives subsidies not only from the National Development and Reform Commission, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and relevant national science and technology departments, but also from local governments. This is why Carrot Robotaxi operates in these cities. In other words, the Wuhan, Hangzhou, and Shanghai municipal governments all paid Carrot Robotaxi to set up operations. The reason for this is that managing ride-hailing and taxi drivers is a big problem for the Chinese government. The government is always worried about drivers causing disturbances, which is a political risk. Switching to self-driving taxis makes management much easier. As for how taxi drivers and ride-hailing drivers will make a living after losing their jobs, that's a grassroots issue that the higher-ups in the government do not care about. They don't care if people die or can't survive. If there are any disturbances, they will just arrest people. In 2023, it was rumored that 1,200 new prisons were built nationwide, with over 300 each in Inner Mongolia and Xinjiang, specifically for ordinary people. For the Chinese government, the ease of urban management is the most important thing.